Stop scrolling. Seriously, just for a second, I want you to think about how you're using AI right now. Literally everyone is talking about ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. But here is the hard truth. If you want to actually dominate this AI era, you've got to stop being just a passive user. Let's dive right into this explainer, where we're going to break down exactly how you can stop consuming AI and start building it.
So, I have to ask, are you building or are you just watching? Because it is incredibly easy to just type a prompt into a chat box and watch the text magically appear. We've all done it. But the real, massive, career-defining power, that comes from taking control of the technology behind that chat box. Today, we're demystifying this whole ecosystem. We're going to look at the exact tools and frameworks you need to build these complex systems yourself.
The core thing we need to get straight right out of the gate is this. Stop being a user, start being a developer. And look, you might be thinking that building massive AI models requires some kind of dark magic or like $1 billion supercomputer sitting in a server farm somewhere. It totally doesn't. You just need the right tools and a grasp of the basic building blocks. That's exactly what we're mapping out today, so you can make that jump.
All right, Section 1. The roots of generative AI, from deep learning to the transformer revolution. Look, to build the future, we have to understand the past, right? Generative AI didn't just drop out of the sky. It has deep historical roots in neural networks. Way back, we relied on things called RNNs, or recurrent neural networks. They were okay for sequence memory, but really only for short-term tasks. Give an RNN a long paragraph, and it literally forget the beginning by the time it got to the end. Then we got GRUs in 2014 and LSTMs around the mid-2010s to help manage those long-term dependencies. But they all had this one huge bottleneck. They process data sequentially, one word at a time, super slow. But then, 2017 happened. The transformer architecture dropped, bringing parallel processing and self-attention, and it absolutely changed the game for how machines process human language. That 2017 turning point was all thanks to a legendary research paper by Google researchers called "Attention is All You Need." They basically said, hey, let's ditch those old, slow sequence models. By using a mechanism called self-attention, the AI could process every single word in a sequence at the exact same time, understanding the deep context of a word based on everything around it. This specific architecture became the absolute bedrock for the massive, world-changing models we use today. Think GPT-4, Gemini Pro, and Meta's Llama 2.
Moving on to Section 2, the AI Developer Toolkit, LangChain, Vector Databases, and Embeddings. So how do you actually build stuff with this architecture? Well, you need a specific trifecta of tools. First up, LangChain. Think of LangChain as the ultimate wrapper or the glue. It's this open-source framework that seamlessly connects your AI to the real world, letting it talk to APIs, read your private docs, and chain complex tasks together. Second, you need vector databases like Pinecone or the open-source ChromaDB. These act as your AI's long-term memory, so it doesn't just guess, it actually knows the hard facts. And third, embeddings. This is how we take messy, unstructured data and translate it into numbers the AI can actually digest.
Let's zoom in on embeddings for a second, because this is absolutely fascinating. An embedding is a dense, high-dimensional numerical vector. When you feed text to an embedding model, it turns your words into a massive array of numbers, specifically 1,536 dimensions. This mathematical translation captures the true semantic meaning of the data. So, words or concepts that mean similar things, their vectors literally sit closer together in this giant 1,536-dimensional space. It's exactly how algorithms make sense of insane amounts of unstructured data with such pinpoint precision.
All right, Section 3, Smart AI, Multimodality, and RAG Explained.
When you combine this toolkit, the possibilities are wild. Think about traditional AI. It's great, but honestly, it's kinda blind. It only does text. But multimodal AI like Google's Gemini Pro completely flips the script. It processes text, images, and code all at the same time, seamlessly. Imagine you want to build an invoice extractor. In the past, you'd write a bunch of brittle code trying to parse a PDF layout. Now, you just use Gemini Pro Vision to literally see the image of the invoice, understand its layout visually, and spit out perfectly structured data. That is the incredible real-world power of multimodality.
Now, what about those dreaded AI hallucinations? We've all seen AI just confidently lie to us. That is where RAG comes in, Retrieval Augmented Generation. Imagine you're building a medical chatbot. You definitely don't want it relying on its own internal memory, which could be outdated or just wrong. So instead, step 1, a user asks a question. Step 2, your system searches your vector database, which holds a 600-page medical textbook converted into those embeddings we just talked about. Step 3, it grabs the exact, scientifically accurate paragraphs and injects them straight into the prompt. Finally, step 4, the LLM reads that precise context and generates a highly accurate real-time response. It literally reads a 600-page textbook in seconds to give you a perfect, hallucination-free answer. How cool is that?
Next up, Section 4, Going Local and Open Source. The true cost of AI development. Building these amazing apps brings up a huge dilemma for developers, and that's the actual cost of AI development. On one side, you have closed models, like OpenAI. Here, you're paying for every single API token you use. You're totally dependent on the cloud, and you're locked into a black box where you don't really know what's going on under the hood. But on the other side, we have this massive shift toward open source models, like Meta's Llama 2. The cost? Completely free if you run it locally. You work in your own private workspace, and you have 100% unrestricted developer control. This is what's truly democratizing the whole AI landscape.
And hey, if you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't have a giant server farm to run these models, let me stop you right there. You absolutely do not need a supercomputer. You can run incredibly powerful, quantized models locally on a totally standard laptop using tools like Llama CPP or C-Transformers, all with just Python. Quantization basically just compresses these massive AI models so they run super fast on everyday consumer hardware. The old barrier to entry? It is completely gone.
Finally, Section 5, the call to action, democratizing the generative AI revolution.
Everything you need to transition from a consumer to a creator is freely available right now. The roadmap is literally waiting for you. All you need to do is start with some basic Python knowledge. From there, master frameworks like LangChain. Tap into free community resources like the iNeuron Generative AI dashboard from our source materials, which has totally free roadmaps and tutorials. Before you know it, you won't just be chatting with AI, you'll be building the apps, from MCQ generators all the way up to complex text-to-SQL bots.
So, I'm going to leave you with this. The AI revolution isn't coming. It is already here. It's reshaping literally every industry right before our eyes. So, are you going to just sit back and watch it happen? Or are you ready to open up your code editor and actually build the future? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer. Get out there and start building.